We saw you in the waiting room, so we're a little bit early, but thought we'd let you in and say hi, see who's out there. Hi, Paula. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Atlanta, North Atlanta area, uh,
Oh,
called Johns Creek, and I am a musician. I play saxophone.
Oh, great.
I do that on the side. I'm in the home care business.
You
okay.
know, if Zoom were a little bit better, we could jam, but it just doesn't sync up, you know?
I know, but I've been seniors in assisted and independent and even memory and providing just engagement, not just playing, but because I don't have backups and tracks and all that. It's just me and my instruments. I bring little shakers and
That's
tam.
good.
Yeah. So love this topic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for hosting.
Hi, Gordon. Where are you joining us from?
Just outside of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Where are
Great.
you?
Well, I'm on Orange County, California.
Oh,
And Scott, are you in Delaware today or
Yes,
North
I'm
Carolina?
in northern Delaware, just west of Philly Airport.
And then we have Mary Lee, who just joined us. She's in Atlanta as well. She is the chair of our Atlanta chapter, and they did a great presentation for us yesterday on aging in place. That's on YouTube, on our NAIPC-TV on YouTube, for anyone that missed it. So this presentation is also going to be on YouTube, and we'll go ahead and get started. I know we'll have some stragglers that join us later, but I want to go ahead because I love this topic and I love Steve. He's presented to our Triangle chapter a couple months ago. And as soon as it was over, I think the second it was over, I emailed you and asked you to come back to Aging in Place Week because it's such a great topic, and he made us our own playlist. And I will just turn it right over to Steve because I know he's got a great presentation for us. And he's sharing his screen. So if you have any questions, I'll just kind of keep a watch on the chat box. And then at the end, Steve will make sure everything gets addressed, if that's okay with you.
That's fine. I'm looking forward to hearing some questions and comments. I'm Steve Toll, and I have been a musician since professionally since the age of 15, and started as a young kid at 4 years old with the piano. I grew up in a musical family. My mother was a piano teacher. My father sang opera, so music was always a big part of life. And I started playing violin as a young kid. And then as a teenager, I picked up the guitar and started playing that and playing in bands. And 15, started to work professionally and did that for many years in bands and recording studios. And about 25 years ago, I've always had an interest in the music of the 30s and 40s, the Great American Songbook. And about 25 years ago, my wife and I started a company called Prescription Music because of my love of that music, I started to play music in some nursing homes and saw that people who were totally disoriented because of Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia still were able to sing. They knew all the words, they remembered the songs. And I also saw that when I played the songs, certain songs would trigger memories, and that really piqued my interest. And I started to learn a lot more about dementia. And so we started a company called Prescription Music about 25 years ago and started just touring around and working in various communities, playing music. I started to record CDs of that music, and also developed some trainings and started to work with caregivers to get more music into the communities. And about 10 years ago, I was approached by Comfort Care Home Care and offered a job with them. They had been buying my musical CDs and using them for a music program that we then developed called Joyful Memories. So I've been working with Comfort Care for the past 10 years with the dementia program, creating dementia training and utilizing music in the Joyful Memories program. So that leads me to, really creating some presentations and really helping people to make musical connections because it's such a great way to engage with people, whatever their condition. So today's presentation is here's what we're going to go over. We're going to talk about why music is so effective, the benefits of music, how music connects and defines us, the fact that anyone can participate. You don't have to be a musician. You don't even really have to know how to sing. And we're going to talk about how we can just generally help and the importance of attention and intention and engagement, how music creates an environment, and then we'll talk about some resources, selecting the music, resources for utilizing the music where you can get it, and just the fact that music really breaks down barriers and creates those connections. So, most of us absolutely love music. We're compelled by it, we're provoked by it, we're moved by it, we're inspired by it, and we feel connected to it. It reflects something profound about who we are and our experience of the world. Given the emotionally charged nature of music, it can be an incredibly effective way to express ourselves and cope with challenging life circumstances. So, this presentation is about using music to make connections. So I really want to make a musical connection with you. So I'm gonna play some songs throughout the presentation. I'm going to start with this one, and I put the lyrics on. It is a great song by Cole Porter, and it's called "You Do Something to Me." I'm going to sing it for you now, and if you want to sing along, please feel free. You do something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Tell me, why should it be? You've got the power to hypnotize me. Let me live beneath your spell. Do that voodoo that you do so well for you. Do something to me that nobody else can do, that nobody else can do. That's "You Do Something to Me That Nobody Else Can Do." Great song by Cole Porter. And I really like that one. It's got that positive beat and positive message as well. Well, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of music. There's so many. Listening to music releases endorphins, and that alleviates stress, anxiety, and pain. And these are, this has been really proven now with many scientific studies. Since I started doing music, there's been so many studies, and over the past 25 years, when I first began working with people with all sorts of conditions, including dementia, music has the power to shift mood, manage stress-induced agitation, stimulates positive interactions, and facilitates cognitive function that helps to coordinate motor movements as well. Music also creates joy and inspires empathy. There's nothing better to communicate emotion than music. Music unites us. We all understand the language. No matter our differences, music creates a common bond. From the first lullaby sung to us as newborn babies, music provides the soundtrack for our lives. So much so that I think many of us take it for granted, just as we do the soundtrack of a film, which we often hear without listening to it. That is, we enjoy the film without realizing how much the music conditions our reaction. We experience joy and express emotions through music, and music triggers our long-term memories about past experiences people we've known, places we visited. So many of our memories may be associated with a favorite song or artist. You may remember attending concerts and feeling that collective energy of the group in sync with the rhythm of the music. It is truly amazing how music brings us together, regardless of age, ethnic background, or differing opinions. That's why we need music to help society harmonize. Music also helps us to define us in ways that really lead to unity. We can celebrate our differences and share aspects of ourselves that help others to understand where we are coming from. Music can help to mark moments in time and reminisce about the chapters in our lives. All of this helps to identify what we all have in common. This is another great song, and another great quality of music is that it can help us to put a positive spin on whatever's going on in our lives with universal themes that we all experience and can relate to. This is a song that I really love, and it has a calming effect on the soul. Let me sing it for you, and it's just a great theme. Dream when you're feeling blue. Just dream. That's the thing to do. Watch those smoke rings fly through the air. You'll find your share of memories there. So dream when the day is through. Just dream and they might come true. Things never are as bad as they seem. So dream, dream, dream. So dream, dream, dream. That's a great song written by Johnny Mercer in 1944. And these songs that I'm doing, they're written by some of the greatest songwriters of all time. Well, anyone can participate, and this is really true. Music touches us all, and anyone can enjoy it and participate. It's another example of how music brings us together and breaks down barriers. Whoever you are, whatever your age, wherever you're from, we all have music in common. And when we share music with one another, it really helps us, and it really helps us to see the other person. That's why music is such an important component in society. Music can literally create harmony. And I selected some of these images, and I ran across this one here. I don't know if you notice it in the right-hand corner. If any of you remember or familiar with Sing Along with Mitch, that great show that used to be on TV, follow the bouncing ball and sing along with Mitch. That was always a lot of fun. So how can we help? So where does the music happen? So, we can share music in a lot of different ways. So in groups, and we can do that live, going into a community, leading a group sing along, and also doing it virtually. And I do this all the time. Do sing-alongs with groups and communities using Zoom. I mean, it's amazing that we have this technology to allow us to do this, and it really does work. And once people sort of get used to it, they do engage. And because we can be interactive, we can do song requests, we can have little conversations. It can work the same way that it can work live. Then also, excuse me, another great way is to do it in a hybrid format. What I mean by that is someone can be on the site and someone can be providing the music virtually. I do this all the time with our Comfort Care franchise owners. And, you know, the franchise owner will be on site and I'll be on the big screen in the activity room, and it works beautifully doing a sing-along that way, music program. And then, you know, one-on-one, and we do one-on-one sessions in communities or in someone's home. Wherever they call home, we can bring music to them one-on-one, and we can do it in the same way. We can do it live. And, you know, I used to go to various communities and go from room to room, working with people doing music. And it was extremely effective, both in assisted living communities, independent communities, also very effective in hospice. And I actually do that with the various hospice groups all the time. It works very well. And then, of course, in homes, people tuning in on a one-on-one basis, caregivers working one-on-one with clients with music to create those connections, because it really, really does help. So, you know, that really leads me to how do you really engage with someone? It really does start with you and whatever you are. If you're a caregiver, you're a nurse, you're someone who engages with people in senior centers, whatever it is, there's always an opportunity, but it starts with attention, intention, and engagement. Your enthusiasm, your energy level, and attitude always set the tone. Clapping hands, tapping feet, moving to the music, singing and laughing are all forms of gentle physical exercise that you can encourage by example. Participants will typically follow the lead of the program facilitator, generally mirroring their behavior. Program facilitators should encourage the residents to clap their hands, dance in place with them, sing along with the music, wave a flag, or play along with a rhythm instrument. Add elements of fun and caring to the sessions. That's what that does. Acting out the lyrics to a song is another way to increase engagement. For example, the well-known song, If You're Happy and You Know It, clap your hands. That's the opportunity. Clap your hands, stamp your feet, do other actions. That's always a lot of fun. People love to engage. And remember, when anyone is engaged, the brain is turned on. The senses are transmitting information from the environment and sending it back to the brain for interpretation. The environment holds the potential to stimulate the brain. So ways to facilitate a personal connection for those the people living with dementia include making eye contact with a smile, positive and kind interaction, and calm demeanor. Participants in these sessions will always experience positive effects in body, spirit, and mind. That's really the healing power of music. So, you know, just a little bit about engaging with someone, things to keep in mind. It's that positive physical approach. Always come from the front. This is especially true with people living with dementia. Make sure they're aware of you before you get close or touch. Not call out if you're entering someone's room. Go slowly, 1 second, one step, or let the person come to you. Get to the person's side. Use a supportive stance, not confrontational in any way. This provides visual and physical out for the person so they don't feel intimidated. We always have to remember that the senses change as someone ages, and especially when they're living with dementia. So, you know, that positive physical approach includes introducing yourself by name, making sure the person knows you, and that doesn't mean they actually remember you, but they know that you're there, and they know that you've, you know, that they've acknowledged you. This also cues them for the next step. Wait for a response, but don't expect it immediately. Count to 10. This lets you know that they've processed and lets them know that you're listening. And use your nonverbal skills when you're waiting, gesturing, motioning, smiling. All these are nonverbal ways to communicate. Because after all, we are trying to create an environment that feels safe, that feels inclusive, and that's so critical. And don't forget that smile really means a lot. It makes a big difference. Because when we create that environment, we're socializing it so that everyone feels included and everyone can participate. The atmosphere gets transformed, it becomes festive and life affirming so that everyone can really have some fun and just really enjoy what they're doing. Always remember to acknowledge the individual. If you're working with a group, it's still that one-on-one engagement that makes the difference. And that means going around and acknowledging each individual and making that individual connection with everyone that's in the room. And this is one of the greatest performers of all time to me. And I remember seeing Louis Armstrong. I was a young boy, and I grew up in Philadelphia, and we used to go every summer. We would go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and there was a great place there called the Steel Pier. And on Steel Pier, they had all the great performers. And, I was probably about 10 years old when I saw Louis Armstrong for the first time. And he just had such an effect with the big smile and just the way he performed. I was just mesmerized. And I always love this song. And it really does. To me, it's the definitive Louis Armstrong with the big smile. I'm going to do it for you now. This is also a very popular one to sing along to. I put the words up, so feel free to sing along. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing, be happy again in your smiling. Keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. The whole world smiles with you. When you're smiling, that's a great one. I love that song, and I love the whole sentiment. And smiling is contagious. I smile at you, you smile back at me. It's just a natural thing. And what a great thing that is. So let's talk a little bit about, how we select music working with people, older people and people with dementia. One of the important things is really understanding who that person is. And we call that a social history. And, we learn, what their age is, their background, where are they from, what part of the country, what's their ethnic background, maybe they're from another country and speak another language. And then, of course, what are their preferences? What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? What kind of family do they come from? Do they have children? Just as much information as we can get about who that person is, that informs us and helps us to make connections, and also helps us to figure out what their music is. And of course, whatever they can tell us, what their families can tell us, what we can learn about their musical collections, albums, CDs, and various things. And then, of course, the sources, like I'm saying, person's collection. And then, all the resources that we have. YouTube is an amazing resource, especially for the older musicians and singers. I'm frequently talking about going on YouTube and searching for a particular clip. A popular sing-along song that I do is Singing in the Rain. And you can go on YouTube and you can see that original clip of Gene Kelly dancing to it and singing. So these are great resources that we have the ability to utilize. And it's truly amazing how the technology has really helped us that way. YouTube is a great resource. And then, of course, all the streaming music services that there are for any type of genre, any song that's available. I mean, if you have a voice-activated device like an Alexa device or Google Home, you can ask that device to play the song. What an amazing thing that is. Such great resources that we have available to us. And here's a couple of resources that I want to make you aware of. This is part of what I do. Monday through Friday, I do a live stream program on Facebook. And this is on the Comfort Care corporate Facebook page. This is a great resource. It's available for anyone to utilize. I'm there at 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And all of the programs that I do, if you're not able to be there at 1 p.m. Eastern, and this is available for anyone, they're also available on the Comfort Care YouTube channel. And there's a playlist there called Tune In Today, and I post all the programs there. So there's hours and hours of programs. It's a 30-minute program, and it's posted on YouTube as well under the playlist Tune In Today on the Comfort Care channel. And that's available for anyone. And, feel free to let people know about this resource so that they can share it with anyone they know. And, I encourage people to tune into my program, my Facebook live stream. And, I'm always looking for comments, song requests, anything that anyone wants to share about music, a musical memory, because certainly, there's so many songs that trigger memories. I know I have my favorite songs and my favorite memories associated with those songs. And that's one of the amazing benefits of music, to trigger those memories, and such a great reminiscence tool. I also want to make you aware of my music from the Joyful Memories program, Comfort Care's Joyful Memories program. All of the music is available on the streaming music service SoundCloud, which is an app that is free of charge to download and set up a free account. That's available for any device on the App Store, whether it be an Apple device or an Android device. You can download the app, set up a free account, and then search for Joyful Memories, Steve Toll, and all of the playlists will come up. There's over 200 songs available there, all categorized by genre. There's songs like I've played today, songs of Broadway, there's great sing-along songs, there's country songs, there's inspirational songs, hymns, there's all types of things available on SoundCloud for anyone to utilize, and it's free of charge for anyone. So I would encourage you to share that. And, I really feel that music is such a great gift. It's really a gift to humanity to have such a wealth of beautiful and meaningful songs to entertain us, to nurture us, and bring so much joy to everyone. Music gives us the opportunity to express ourselves so that when we create, build, and maintain meaningful connections, that they really are meaningful and warm. Music can help us to appreciate all that we have, and it really reminds us to be kind. Music encourages us to experience joy. And I certainly encourage all of you to have music in your life every day, and encourage everyone that you interact with to utilize music. When you're speaking to families, when you're speaking to caregivers of any type, professional or family, encourage them to use as much music as possible. You know, I mean, I know that many people grew up singing around the piano, listening to music, going to the dance halls. A lot of the people of the age group that we work with have great memories associated with music. It brought them through maybe some challenging times, and they have certain songs that trigger great memories and really helps to express emotion and just break down those barriers. So I really encourage you to use it as much as you can. I want to open this up to any questions that you may have. I'd love to hear about them. And, you know, it's been a pleasure to present this presentation to you.
Gosh, thank you so much, Steve. I love that presentation so much. It was just as good the second time around as the first. I see
Oh,
Mary
great.
Lee has turned off her microphone. I thought you might have something to say.
Yeah. Steve, that was awesome. I work for the Alzheimer's Association, and so have seen a lot of the studies that have come out about music and its power, and really cool the things that you're doing. So kudos to you for taking a passion and then turning it into something that helps people. It makes me teary because when you find somebody who makes that connection, it's amazing. So I have kind of a weird question, actually. So I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what kind of music they like to listen to. And I feel like these generations of younger folks, it's not like we have a defining category of music. And it's kind of sad and scary to me. So I'm just curious about your thoughts on that. Am I just missing the boat, or is that actually happening? Like,
No, I think, you know, you're not the first person to talk about that. And you know, the music has changed in many ways, I guess, you know, but I don't know, you know, if they listen to, I mean, they like the music they like, but it'll probably also change as, you know, as they go through life. And you know, I don't know. I think that it doesn't really matter what it is if it helps connect them. If it creates a social experience and keeps them connected with others, it really doesn't matter. I mean, certainly the music has changed. I mean, I know, you know, through the years, and we always talk about that, you know, what is it going to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? What are we going to be playing for the people? And now with the baby boomers, it's a whole other thing, you know.
different genre, yeah.
Yeah, and I do those songs, you know, certainly. Now the Beatles are like, oh, that's old, you know, that's old music. But, you know, in the music of the 60s, and that's really the music that I grew up with, the music of the 60s and 70s, the Motown, the R&B, you know, that's what's happening now. So, you know, to answer your question, I don't really think it matters. You know, we can't relate to it maybe, but if they can, and it creates a social environment for them and connects them, I think it's good. Yeah.
I guess I was just saying, I think they have so much access too. You know, I have people, you know, the access to Korean music and this like whole crazy. So it's, I guess what I meant is like, there's not like a defining generation of music per, you know, the decade anymore, like it seemed to be, because there's such a wide variety. So the folks who are going to be doing your job, you know, 60 years from now are going to have difficulty, which is why I think it's so important that we do person-centered care and you find out what each person likes, because I mean, I think when you find the music that they like, you make that amazing connection. So,
and that's the whole point that you brought up, you know, and that's one of the reasons why the social history, to understand who a person is, where they're from, this is so critical.
That was awesome, Steve.
Thanks.
Really love that. Originally, I was a music therapy major, but I switched my career. Didn't want to take 10,000 music classes in college, but at UGA, but I ended up as a child development, child life specialist. And music was always good for those kids who were bedridden, on EEG where they were hooked up. So throughout my career working with special needs populations and volunteering as a kid, I would go into the nursing homes back in the day. But I hadn't used my music in years. And what happened was I fell into the home care business, and we're not a franchise. And I started to see some of the entertainment, and I was not happy with the lack of engagement.
Yeah.
The seniors,
Well,
right?
yeah. That's actually that's what inspired me.
Yes.
When I played, I remember it so vividly. One of the first places I ever played was this rehab. And when I was there, I was doing the sing-along songs, and the caregivers, I remember, were in the back of the room, and I looked back, and one of them had her head tilted back, and she was sound asleep, And I thought to myself, well, this isn't not a break time for you. It's actually time for you to really increase the engagement. While I'm there doing the music, you go around, take their hands, dance in place, hand out the rhythm instruments, have some fun, and really, really beef up the opportunity to engage. So it was the opposite. That's really what inspired me to create some presentations to start to work with caregivers. And back now, maybe this is over about 20 years ago, I did some presentations for the Alzheimer's Association about that, starting to create that engagement.
So is that what you do now?
Now what I do, I work with Comfort Care Home Care. And what I do is I work with our franchisees and the caregivers to, help to get more music in care. And, we have a program. Yeah.
Well, what I'm asking is if you were to go into someone's home or assisted living, your performance would be. Just give me an idea of what you would do. I mean, you're gonna bring in all sorts of rhythm stuff, or how are you going to engage other than just say sing along?
Right, a bag of rhythm instruments. And a big smile and a lot of enthusiasm. So I mean, like what we do now, and I don't go around to the places anymore, but what I do is this is typically how we do it. I'll be on the big screen. Now technology helps us. I'll be on the big screen in the activity room, and the franchise owner or representative from that office will be on site, and we call that a hybrid. It's a hybrid kind of a thing, and that person will have the rhythm instruments, little flags to wave when we do the patriotic songs, and go around and just be the sort of master of ceremonies, to kind of lead and engage. I'll be singing the songs, we'll be engaging with them, and we'll often get people sing, they have a good time. And maybe they'll remember a song and tell a story. It's quite amazing how engaged people can get. But that's basically it. It's a few cheap little shakers and a big smile and a lot of energy.
Trying to figure out how you
That's it.
How you engage. I assume that you saw the 60 Minutes piece with what's his face? Now I can senior moment. San Francisco. Come on.
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean that's what music, particularly when everybody, that part of the brain tends to still survive.
Yeah. Exactly.
With and they remember all that music. I mean, he didn't have to read anything. He remembered all the words, right?
No, that's it. And that's the other thing, that I'm asked all the time is, should we hand out lyric sheets? And I say, well, you can. I said, but it really is, it's sort of not necessary, because the goal really is to for people to sing along from memory, and they're going to remember. It's not about reading. And in fact, if you give them a sheet and make them read, it might make them upset. So you really want to just let it be.
So you don't put the words on the screen, on the big screen?
Often, no. No, we really don't bother with that. I did that today for you because you may not know the words,
We're dopes, right?
And also just to see, especially the songs that I selected, they're, those songs, they're short little songs that have little messages, very nice, positive messages, and they're not multi-verses, a million words to know. It's just a message. It's a positive message.
So Paula, when you go into the next home, are you bring in, what's the instrument you play?
So I can't sing at the same time I play the saxophone.
Oh, yeah. But you can just,
That would be a real trick.
But you can, the
Oh,
saxophone.
no. Oh, no, I sing also. Absolutely. But and I don't memorize anything anymore. So I basically have my saxophone music there, but I'm playing 40s, 50s and some 60s.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even like Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, because I trivia. I'm saying to them, hey, this was a famous movie. They love to guess
Right.
what actors were in the movie, what songs. And then you know what I always end with, Steve? I always end every performance with High Hopes.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong sang and played the horn, right? Didn't he? Yeah, right.
Oh, he was a big trumpet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
I
played
can-
the trumpet, but well, you need a band. So he stopped playing the trumpet. You could do it. You could do it if you wanted to have tracks behind you. You could do it.
Yeah, I don't do tracks. I tell people I'm not an entertainer. I'm an engager.
And right. And that's a big distinction that you just made there that's important to note. It's not about musical performance. It's about engagement. It doesn't matter if you're good. It doesn't make any difference. It just matters that you engage. And that's what I tell, people tell me, well, I can't sing it. I can't sing. It doesn't matter if you can sing. It's you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what we have to do, Steve, is we've got to clone you, right? And
well, you know what?
gotta take little
I mean, now
fingers off
because,
and throw you somewhere else.
but now because of technology, you can have me on a screen, and I can help. So
Virtual, yeah.
really contact
So, okay.
me.
All right.
I'll be on the screen and sing some songs and anywhere. That's
Okay.
what
So
I'm
how
doing.
do we make that happen? What you're looking at is a guy who's putting together who has a website that pushes out virtual content to seniors. How do we make it happen? Do you have, other than I called up the SoundCloud, but that's all music. You got any videos or anything like that?
Yeah, and I have videos, but also white on putting my phone number and
Beautiful. We'll connect.
Your contact information. Yeah. I wanted to say, Steve, that doing what I do and having seen this, I have told my husband, what I want my playlist to be if I have dementia at some point or on my deathbed and I'm not responding, this is my playlist. And he's a musician, he's a bass player, so he totally gets it. But I often think about this in terms of people's advance directives and how they want to, tell about their wishes. I think it's an important component that we don't often think of.
and that might be something, that the Alzheimer's Association, maybe we can develop a tool or something.
I
mean, we should talk about that because I think you're absolutely right. And I've thought about that for a long time, developing some kind of a tool to capture someone's playlists. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
We actually have the technology to do that. And maybe we can create some kind of a tool for people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a hospice
if I
social
can-
worker by background, so sorry, Robin, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I don't know if I can add to the conversation. Having worked as the Northeast Regional Director for Music and Memory for many years, dealing with this idea of individualized music and how it changes the brain.
Mhm.
The state of Wisconsin has in their advanced directives musical playlist references.
That's
They're the
great.
first state in the country to have
That's
that.
awesome.
So we're very proud of that. So just want to share that with everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've heard someone who had early onset, and it made the point that I wish that there was a way someone would take a video and I could show him what I like, like he was into motorcycles and that kind of stuff. So that when he got to the point where he couldn't tell someone that, and they were trying to engage him, they would be able to use that as a reference. Right, to
Love that.
pull up what are you all about? It is something that
Yeah. And, you know,
And it's so easy now. You pick up
It
your
is.
cell phone and take a video and
right.
store it
Yeah.
somewhere. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great. It's a great idea.
it's really just a matter of, it's always the same thing where, we have the resources, it's just getting people to be aware of it, and putting it together in some way that has enough impact, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I do my live stream program, Tune In Today, on Facebook, on the Comfort Care Facebook page. And I wish more people would tune into it and be aware of it. And that's something, Gordon, that you can let people know.
Yep.
I'm happy to do any of this on anyone's Facebook page at any time. I mean, this is what I'm doing until I can't do it anymore. So, I mean, yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay, so you're East Coast, East.
Yeah.
Right,
But
that's
I
good.
mean, it doesn't matter, because of technology now, I'm all over the world. I'm everywhere,
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going live, at 9 in the morning in the United Kingdom. I mean, unless you're going to stay up all night and do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I could, I mean, if you
There
set
you
it up,
go.
I'll do it. You set it up, I'll do it. All right.
All right. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has been a great presentation. Thank you so much, Steve. I couldn't have thought of a better person to be our closing presenter for Aging in Place Week. And I love the topic. I hope you'll come back and share again with us.
Certainly will. It's been a
and-
pleasure to be here and meet everyone. And please feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure there's a lot more we can do.
Yeah, that's great. And our December meeting, our national meeting in December, the third Thursday of the month, is actually also about music therapy. And it's going to be about using music during the holiday season to connect with your family members. So I think
Great.
that'll be a nice follow-up to this presentation today. So thank you, Steve.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You got a parting tune for us?
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah. How
Oh,
about
look at you.
Play us out.
this is such a great song, Louis Armstrong. And I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. So I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All right. Been a pleasure, everyone. Enjoy
That's
the
right.
rest of your day. Please reach
Thank
out.
you.
Great way to send us off. Thank you.
Okay, great. Have a great one. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.